All right, so today we're diving into this YouTube video, and it's making some pretty big claims about, financial freedom
Mm-hmm.
through e-commerce.
Yeah.
And it's called Zenginlerin Saru, Automatic Gelirli Financial Özgürlük,
Okay.
which translates to the secret of the rich, financial freedom with automatic income.
Oh,
Yeah,
sketchy?
it is sketchy, right? And it features this Turkish entrepreneur named Akun Yilmaz.
Okay.
Now, the video's in Turkish,
Uh-huh.
but we've got you covered with like the key takeaways and everything.
Awesome.
So is this the real deal or just another one of those get-rich-quick schemes?
Right.
Let's find out.
Let's dive in.
What I thought was really interesting is how Akun frames financial freedom.
Yeah.
It's not just about reaching like a certain income level, but it's
Yeah.
about building a lifestyle
Mm-hmm.
through something he calls automated income.
Interesting.
And he sees platforms like eBay and Amazon as like the keys to this.
So he's saying it's not just about like selling stuff online. It's
Yeah.
more about like creating systems
Yeah.
that'll generate income kind of passively,
Yeah.
even while you're, off doing something else.
Like enjoying a cup of coffee
Exactly.
or exploring a new hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he uses this pretty amusing analogy to kind of illustrate why people hesitate to even try.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
He talks about pigeons being afraid to take food
What?
that's offered to them, even when there's like a bolder pigeon that's happily feasting right in front of them.
Oh, wow. So it's like they're missing out on a
Right.
delicious opportunity because they're too afraid to take a chance.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
And I see how that relates to, you know, starting a business,
Right.
maybe thinking it's too risky or that you need to be like some kind of financial genius.
Yeah, like you have to know everything before you can even start.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he's saying like, no, sometimes you just got to like,
Just go for it.
yeah, overcome that initial fear and just go for it.
But he doesn't just say like jump into anything blindly, right? He also stresses the importance of passion and choosing a business that you're truly excited about.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because if you're not passionate about what you're doing,
Right?
it's going to be really hard to stay motivated,
You're going to burn out.
especially when you face challenges.
Totally. And there will be challenges.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's going to happen.
Challenges are inevitable.
Yeah, and that's where the passion comes in.
Mhm.
It fuels your resilience. It helps you push through those tough times,
Yeah,
which is so crucial in the world of e-commerce.
especially because it's so competitive.
It is.
And speaking of competition,
Yes.
Akun doesn't shy away from addressing the fact that there are a lot of people out there selling these e-commerce training programs.
Right.
And he even uses the term course on.
Corson.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It means like ineffective or incomplete courses,
Oh, so like,
often pirated versions of legitimate programs.
gotcha, like scammy courses.
Yeah. And he seems particularly frustrated by people complaining about those course on courses that they didn't even buy from him directly.
Oh, so they're blaming him
Yeah, they call
for a
it.
bad course that they got from somebody else.
It's like blaming a chef for a bad meal that you got from a street vendor
Right.
who like stole their recipe.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah, so he's basically saying be careful who you trust.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you're getting your information from reputable sources.
Yeah, do your research.
And don't just fall for any shiny promise of easy money.
Right, because there's no such thing.
Exactly.
It takes work.
There's no such thing as easy money.
Yeah, you got to put in the effort.
You got to be willing to learn.
And find the right mentors, programs that align with your values.
Absolutely.
And this is where Kunyun's own story gets really interesting.
Okay.
He claims to have helped hundreds of people achieve financial freedom
Wow.
through his mentorship and the systems he teaches.
Really?
Yeah, and he even advertises a free course on eBay dropshipping in the video. So it seems like he's really invested in helping people.
That's pretty cool that he offers a free course.
Yeah.
And suggests that he's not just all about, selling these expensive programs.
Right.
But that he really wants to share his knowledge and help people succeed.
Definitely.
So you mentioned these systems earlier.
Yeah.
What exactly does he mean by that?
So Akun is a big believer in creating systems that work for you,
Mm-hmm.
even when you're not actively working.
Okay.
So like you're building assets that generate income passively,
I see.
like owning a rental property
Okay.
that brings in rent every month without you having to manage it constantly.
Right. So it's like you set it up and then it just kind of runs on its own.
Exactly.
Okay. Can you give me some specific examples of what those systems might look like in the context of e-commerce?
Sure. So he gives examples like creating YouTube content
Okay.
where you make a video once and it can generate income for years
Oh, wow.
as people keep watching it.
So it's like building a library of content that keeps working for you,
Yeah.
even when you're sleeping or
Yeah.
doing other things.
It's pretty powerful.
Yeah. That's a pretty cool concept.
He also talks about dropshipping.
Dropshipping. Okay, so I've heard that term, but I'm not entirely sure what it is.
Okay, so imagine you have an online store,
Okay.
but you don't actually hold any inventory.
Okay.
You partner with a supplier who stores and ships the products.
So they handle all the
Exactly.
the shipping and the logistics.
Yeah, so you're basically the middleman
Okay.
handling the marketing and the customer service
I see.
while they take care of all the physical stuff.
So you don't have to deal with packing boxes and going to the post office and all that.
That's right.
That sounds pretty hands off.
It's become a very popular model,
I can see why.
especially for people who are new to e-commerce
Yeah.
and don't want to invest a lot of money up front
Right.
in inventory.
You can't be all sunshine and rainbows though, right?
Of course.
What are some of the challenges?
Well, finding reliable suppliers is crucial.
Right, because you're trusting them with a big part of your business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You also need to manage customer expectations.
Yeah, make sure things are shipped on time.
Right. And communicate
Oh,
clearly.
and there's the whole competition thing.
Definitely. You need to stand out
Yeah.
in a crowded marketplace.
So it sounds like any other business,
Mhm.
it requires
It does.
careful planning research,
Absolutely.
a good understanding of the market,
Mm-hmm.
no easy money here,
Nope. Hard work.
and dedication.
Yeah. And I think that's what Akanya is trying to say, too.
Right?
He's enthusiastic about e-commerce,
Right.
but he's not pretending it's easy.
It's not a get-rich-quick scheme.
No, it's about building sustainable systems.
Yeah, that generate income over the long term.
That's right.
He also seems to touch on something a bit deeper than just making money.
Yeah, he talks about abundance versus scarcity.
What did you mean by that?
He believes there's enough opportunity for everyone to succeed. We don't need to view the world through a lens of scarcity,
Mm-hmm.
where we're all competing for a limited piece of the pie.
It's not a zero-sum game.
Exactly. He wants people to see the potential
Yeah.
for wealth creation.
Instead of focusing on limitations.
Right.
That's a really interesting point,
It is.
especially because the world of online business
Mhm.
can be really cutthroat.
It can be. Yes.
Everyone's vying for attention and sales.
That's true. But Akun is advocating for a more collaborative approach,
Okay.
where we see the potential for everyone to thrive.
So moving away from that me versus them mindset
Exactly.
and embracing the idea that there's enough for everyone.
Yeah, there's abundance.
That's a powerful shift in perspective.
It is, and it aligns with his overall message
Okay.
of empowering individuals to create their own financial freedom,
Hmm.
break free from traditional work structures,
Yeah.
build a life on their own terms.
I can see why that message resonates with people.
Yeah.
It taps into that desire for more autonomy, flexibility, and the ability to pursue your passions.
Definitely.
And he doesn't just talk about it.
Right.
He backs up his claims with examples.
He does.
He shares stories of people who have achieved financial freedom.
Through his mentorship and the strategies he teaches.
So it's not just theory,
Nope, it's practical advice.
based on his experience and the success of others.
Exactly. It's proof of concept.
Yeah, that's important to have that proof.
Absolutely.
It's one thing to talk about potential,
Mm-hmm.
but it's another to actually see people who've made it work.
Right. And he uses another analogy
Okay,
to illustrate this idea of success snowballing.
right.
Once you break through that initial barrier of fear,
Uh-huh.
he compares it to pigeons being hesitant to take food.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
Is this the pigeon analogy again?
it is.
Okay.
He points out that once one pigeon starts eating,
Mm-hmm.
the others quickly follow.
Right. They see that it's safe.
Exactly, and that there's plenty to go around.
So it's like the first step is the hardest.
It often...
But once you see that it's possible to succeed,
Yeah.
it becomes easier for others to follow.
There's like a social proof.
Yeah, a momentum
Right.
that builds up.
And that's where mentorship can really help.
Yeah, having someone who's been there before
Exactly.
to show you the ropes
Mm-hmm.
and help you avoid the common pitfalls.
It can make a huge difference.
And it sounds like that's what Akun is trying to do.
It seems like it.
He's offering his experience and insights
Yeah.
to help people achieve their own version of financial freedom.
And he emphasizes that it looks different for everyone.
Right.
For some, it might mean quitting their job and traveling.
For others, it might be about financial security
Mm-hmm.
to pursue a passion project or spend more time with family.
Exactly.
So it's not just about the money.
Right.
It's about what the money allows you to do.
It's about the freedom
It's flexibility.
it provides.
Yeah. And that's where I think his message really connects with people.
Definitely.
It's not just about getting rich,
It's about living a richer life.
a more fulfilling life.
Exactly.
So the big question,
Yeah.
is e-commerce really a viable path to freedom?
Right. Is it really possible?
Based on what we've heard so far,
Yeah,
it definitely seems to have potential.
it does.
But it's not just about, setting up a shop and watching the money roll in.
No, it takes work,
It requires hard work,
dedication,
willingness to learn.
and adapt.
And Akun also emphasizes finding the right systems
Yes. Those systems are key.
to automate your income,
And create a business that works for you.
even when you're not working.
Exactly.
But he's also suggesting something more than just tactics and techniques.
Right.
He's talking about a shift in mindset.
From scarcity to abundance.
Yeah, from fear to opportunity.
Exactly. Believing in yourself
Yeah.
and your ability to create the life you want.
Even if it means stepping outside of your comfort zone.
That's right.
I'm starting to see the bigger picture here.
Yeah.
It's not just about selling products online.
It's about taking control of your destiny.
Designing a life that aligns with your values and aspirations.
That's right.
And while there are definitely risks involved,
Mm-hmm.
Akun's message is ultimately one of empowerment.
It is.
He's encouraging people to embrace that entrepreneurial spirit
Yeah.
and explore the possibilities.
For the digital age.
Who knows, maybe down the line,
Yeah.
we'll be featuring your e-commerce success story right here
That would be awesome.
on the Deep Dive.
I'd love to hear it.
That's the question I keep coming back to. Where do we go from here? We've explored all these ideas with Akun about financial freedom through e-commerce.
Yeah.
But where do you fit in?
Right.
You, the listener. How can you actually take these ideas and use them?
Well, he does offer a starting point
Yeah.
with that free eBay dropshipping course.
Right, right.
He mentions it in the video description.
It's funny how he just kind of drops that in there at the end,
Yeah.
like a little bonus.
It's very him.
Yeah.
Very entrepreneurial.
Yeah, but it also kind of shows how accessible this information is.
I think it does.
You don't need a fancy degree or a ton of money to start
Nope.
exploring this
There's
stuff.
tons of resources available online.
Yeah.
Many of them free.
You can learn the basics of e-commerce,
Yeah.
digital marketing,
Uh-huh.
even building those automated systems
Exactly.
that he talks about.
And there's a whole community aspect too.
Yeah.
Online forums,
Facebook group.
mentorship
No,
programs.
it's not just about finding the right information. It's about
Mhm.
finding the right people.
To connect with.
Yeah, to bounce ideas off of,
Yeah.
to learn from.
Share experiences.
Yeah, building a business can be a roller coaster.
Oh, definitely.
Having that support system
It makes all the difference.
makes all the difference.
Like that saying, if you want to go fast, go alone.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to go far, go together.
I love that quote.
Yeah,
It's so true.
especially in this context.
And that's what we really want you to take away from this deep dive.
Mhm.
Whether you're fired up to explore e-commerce
Right.
or you're just thinking about new possibilities.
Just open to the ideas.
Yeah, you don't have to do this alone.
Absolutely not.
There's so many resources out there
Communities.
ready to support you.
So what are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for? Take that first step. Dive in. Explore what financial freedom could look like for you.
And
Yeah.
hey, maybe one day we'll have you on the show.
Sharing your story.
I'd love that.
That'd be awesome. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.
Keep diving deep.